This is Nightline.
Tonight, breaking news. Israel launching a series of strikes on Iran's nuclear and military sites while the United States said it was not involved in the attacks. Plus, what happened to Holly Bobo?
Somebody has my daughter. They have kidnapped her. Please get there now.
The 20-year-old nursing student kidnapped from her home in rural Tennessee.
One day she vanishes at the hands of a villain. 3
men sentenced for the heinous crime.
There'll never be enough punishment.
But now, what the defense calls new evidence that casts doubt on their guilt. Could Holly Bobo's killer still be out there? Plus, musical innovators OK Go. Nearly 2 decades after Here It Goes Again went viral. And later, Upside Down and Inside Out filmed before an unlikely backdrop.
An airline came to us and said, like, what would you do if we gave you an airplane? And I know exactly what we do with an airplane.
The group's newest song, Love, is pushing that envelope even further. And Party of Pitbulls, the litter of lookalikes appearing at the Give Me Everything rapper shows.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Morgan Norwood. Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. Israel launching airstrikes on Iran, targeting the country's nuclear and military sites and what it calls Operation Rising Lion. Eyewitnesses confirming to ABC hearing blasts there and videos seen online showing smoke rising from apartment buildings in the city. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claiming Israel targeted facilities and scientists developing nuclear weapons. But the United States is insisting it was not involved in the attacks and did not provide any assistance. The constant worry higher tonight that the hostilities between the two countries could escalate into full-scale war. We'll have much more on this story throughout the night on ABC News Live and on GMA in the morning. We turn now to the case of Holly Bobo, a young nursing student going missing in Tennessee. Her body discovered more than 3 years later. 3 men sentenced for the disturbing crime, but new questions are now making some wonder if the real killer could still be at large. Here's ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
Somebody has my daughter. They have kidnapped her. Please get there now.
They're on their way. What's your daughter's name, Miss Karen?
Holly Bobo.
Okay, Miss Holly.
In 2011, the disappearance of Holly Bobo shook the small town of Parsons, Tennessee. For years, the entire community searched for the 20-year-old nursing student. It wasn't until 3.5 years later that she was found, dead and decomposed. 3 men were held accountable for her death.
They are known troublemakers who are known for dealing drugs.
Zach Adams was convicted of the kidnapping, rape, and murder of Holly. He was sentenced to life in prison plus 50 years. His brother Dylan Adams admitted to police that he raped Holly and witnessed her murder.
Before long, Dylan, who's got some cognitive deficits, has begun to tell them some things.
Was Holly Bobo kidnapped? Was she raped? Raped by you?
He was sentenced to 35 years. Their friend Jason Autry was the star witness at Zach Adams' trial. Autry said he helped dispose of Holly's body and told a jury that Zach Adams fired the shot that killed her.
Boom. The gun sounded. The gun went off.
Autry pleaded to a lesser charge and was sentenced to 8 years. Zach Adams always maintained that he had nothing to do with Holly's death. Now, 14 years after Holly's murder, the case back in court. The now 41-year-old granted a hearing that could possibly lead to a new trial.
We're talking about a hearing that produces new evidence that should fundamentally change the outcome of the case. And that's a hard standard to achieve.
Zach Adams' defense says they have newly discovered evidence, surveillance images never shown at the original trial, which they say contradict the prosecution's timeline of events.
We will prove by clear and convincing evidence Zach Adams was actually innocent of these charges.
The defense presents two pieces of evidence. One, a video from an ATM machine outside a gas station time-stamped at 11:12 a.m. on the day Holly was kidnapped. It showed a silver truck similar to the one that Zach's brother Dylan owned.
Who was in the truck with you that day?
Me and my brother and Shane Austin.
Then, a photo of Dylan Adams inside that gas station just minutes later.
I just wanted to pay for gas.
At the hearing, Dylan Adams also recanted his 2014 confession to police.
Did you have any part in the abduction, raping, or killing Miss Bobo?
No, sir.
When you have these time-stamped, objectively true pieces of evidence, the state's timeline, as articulated through Jason Autry and other witnesses, can no longer be true. So it creates a real break in Zach's case to demonstrate that perhaps he is actually innocent.
If you had video evidence that definitively showed that they couldn't have been at the scene at the time of the crime, that would be very powerful. Prosecutors say you can't even see all three of them in the footage.
Zach Adams' new hearing bringing renewed attention to the 14-year-old case of Holly Bobo. April 13th, 2011 was a typical weekday morning in the small town of Parsons, Tennessee. Holly was home studying for a test. A short while later, Holly Bobo was heard screaming by a neighbor. Holly's brother Clint was home, but he says he was still sleeping. He woke to the family dog barking.
As I was approaching that window, I heard people talking, voices. It was Holly and a man in camouflage who I identified as Drew, who is her boyfriend.
But there were some things that Clint didn't know that his mother knew. Drew was at least 30 minutes drive away.
I would say like 20 seconds later, well, I received a phone call from her. And she says, call all the neighbors. Oh my God, Clint, that's not Drew.
I said, that's not true. Get a gun and shoot him.
And I said, so you want me to shoot Drew? And I think that's when she must have hung the phone up.
I just hung up and I collapsed to the floor.
Despite the intense search for Holly, the trail goes cold. Investigators focus on a group of suspects. Then, in the fall of 2014, the moment Holly's parents had been dreading.
The 3-year and 5-month search for Holly had come to an end.
Holly's skull was found with a single gunshot and with some of her possessions, her homework, sandals, and promise ring from her boyfriend.
It was just a miracle she was found.
Weeks after Holly's remains were found, Dylan Adams confessed to her murder.
You withheld information. That ain't how this works.
Prosecutors take this to trial with the confession from Dylan Adams.
Zach was the one that the state of Tennessee thought was the most culpable, so they chose to try him first.
Chilling testimony today in the trial of Zach Adams.
On day 4, prosecutors put their star witness on the stand, Jason Autry, who initially told police he had nothing to do with Holly's abduction.
Innocent man falsely accused.
Changed his story.
Jason Autry testifies that he and Zach Adams brought Holly Bobo here to this long, winding dirt road that runs along the Tennessee River.
And then he says they took the body, wrapped in a blanket, and laid it on the ground.
I told him, I said, this is still alive.
Autry says he keeps a lookout while Zach gets a pistol from the truck.
And at that time, boom, the gun sounded, gun went off.
After 2 days of deliberation, the jury found Zach Adams guilty of kidnapping, rape, and the murder of Holly Bobo.
Now the man convicted of kidnapping, raping, and killing Holly Bobo is seeking an appeal.
We will prove by clear and convincing evidence Zach Adams was actually innocent of these charges.
It's perhaps Zach Adams' best shot. This new hearing will determine whether he gets a new trial. Court is expected to resume later this summer. Still, the Bobo family and the state believe the right people have been convicted of murdering Holly.
There will never be enough punishment for him.
He don't deserve to be breathing the air that he's breathing today.
And still so many questions, our thanks to Eva. For more on this story, including one of the men sentenced for the crime now recanting his earlier testimony, watch Impact by Nightline. It started with a scream, What Happened to Holly Bobo? Now streaming on Hulu. And when we come back, we switch gears. OK Go's Here It Goes Again went viral before viral was even a thing. Well, now they're back with another mindbender, Love. And it's featuring some robot friends. Welcome back. Okay, so you remember this. OK Go burst onto the music scene with a video that was genius in its simplicity. 4 guys on treadmills done in one long take. That joyous genius still abundantly on display. Here's Nightline's Ashin Singh.
It's a packed house in New York City, all here to see these guys. You recognize them? The light suits, the boyish energy, the unbridled joy. How about now? Maybe this will jog your memory. Oh yeah, this you'll definitely remember. The treadmills, the dancing, the music video for Here It Goes Again took the world by storm in 2006. Getting tens of millions of views, making OK Go an early viral sensation.
Did you know what you had done when that video had come out?
What it felt like to us, like we had been making ridiculous stuff together for our whole lives.
It's been nearly 20 years since that famed treadmill video, but OK Go is still going strong, rocking crowds with their signature mix of charm and joy. Today, they're playing a sold-out show in Brooklyn. Fans as loyal and passionate today as they were decades ago.
Oh, yes. OK Go! Whoa! We're ready to go with OK Go.
I've been watching their music videos since like as long as I can remember.
Even NPR radio legend Ira Glass is a fan.
I have such respect for the fact that they just keep inventing stuff that's new. Like, who does that?
The quintessential mid-2000s supergroup, OK Go, is on tour promoting their first new album in more than a decade. Called And the Adjacent Possible. Their journey goes back more than 30 years, when lead singer Damian Kulash and bassist Tim Nordwin were just a couple of 11-year-old self-admitted music nerds who met at art camp and quickly became lifelong friends.
It was the first weekend of camp, and there's a ping pong table, and I utterly destroyed him.
That's revisionist history, but yeah.
It's been having a lot of trouble getting over it.
In 1998, the duo teamed up with drummer Dan Konopka to form OK Go. Just a few years later, adding lead guitarist Andy Ross to the mix.
Yeah, I'm the new guy. I've only been in it 20 years, so.
They still hazing you?
Yeah.
Of course, he will always be the new guy.
Pretty early on, OK Go knew they needed a new tool in their belt, something to set them apart from every other mid-2000s band. Enter the OK Go music video.
The way it started was that our very first song we ever recorded, we had one demo, and a local Chicago public access station asked us to come play on their TV show. And we were too green to know that that meant lip syncing. So yeah, being the like snotty indie rockers we were like, if we have to lip sync, then we should do the art that goes with lip syncing. We're gonna do a ridiculous boy band dance.
Swing for the fences.
Swing for the fences.
This became their first video and the birth of a new style, Cinnamon Lips. That totally absurd boy band dance quickly morphed into one of their earliest videos, A Million Ways, which you can see is just 4 friends, boy band dancing in unison in a backyard.
If you like that video, like, you're already one of us. It's like, that's a specific sense of humor and a specific type of of joy. And so we went back to my sister, who was a professional ballroom dancer at the time, and we're like, we gotta take it up a notch. We have to outdance ourselves. And that was the treadmills.
The music video for Here It Goes Again exploded OK Go into the public eye.
How do you choreograph something like this that has not been done before?
Play.
Yeah, you get 8 treadmills and play.
Like, you have to be young enough that hurling yourself at treadmills and getting mildly injured is not a problem for you.
Did that happen?
Yeah. Most of the time you jump in a moving surface, you land on your ass. But it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Nobody was hospitalized.
One up the stakes? How about playing that treadmill dance live on the 2006 MTV Video Music Awards?
So we had to rehearse a lot because you get one shot, and like Beyonce's in the front row, and there's 10 million people watching. And Dan's shoe actually came off in the middle of that performance, and he got it back on.
I saw him hop on one leg on a treadmill. It's not easy to do.
Here It Goes Again won them the Grammy for Best Short-Form Music Video, and more importantly, garnered the band a legion of fans online, just a few of whom tried their own hand at the treadmill bit.
It was around that point that it was like, we're that treadmill band, what happens now?
Pushing the envelope with every single video. Playing music with a car and needing getting. Warping your mind with trick photography in the writings on the wall. Doing choreography with furry friends for White Knuckles. Dancing on mobility scooters in I Won't Let You Down.
What's it like being in the room with the four of y'all when you're like, we're gonna make a video, but wait, it's not just gonna be any video?
The truth is that the beginning of it is always really simple. I was like, guys, zero gravity, look at this. And everyone's like, yeah, that's cool, Damien.
That idea for a video in 0G became Upside Down and Inside Out, shot entirely in one take inside a moving plane.
Took 10 years to find somebody to give us a plane. But they did. An airline came to us and said, like, we love the stuff you do. We love how you connect with people. What would you do if we gave you an airplane? And like, I know exactly what we do with an airplane.
I've been planning for this moment my whole life.
Their latest video for their new single, Love, pushes it even further. The band dancing and performing with robots and mirrors in perfect synchrony, with Damien directing the entire thing.
We've all seen cool mirror tricks before, and the one thing robots add is that they can hit it so precisely and keep it in time to music. That day doesn't happen until there has been months and months of play.
Yeah.
In the OK Go universe, videos might be the fuel that keeps it all running. The fun is the universal currency. Fans, they're the lifeblood.
They're nerdy and they're curious and they're joyful, and after all these years to be able to like go out on stage and have a sea of people who are such a wide range of ages and are there to feel that with us.
We love you!
It really validates all of the work that goes into it.
Some things truly do start on a treadmill. Our thanks to Ashen. When we come back, there's a litter of Pitbulls at every one of his shows. Why fans want to dress up like the rapper. Finally tonight, for Pitbull, this concert run must feel a little like looking in a funhouse mirror. Fans have thrown themselves into dressing up like their favorite rapper, wearing bald wigs, sunglasses, and suits, sometimes assembling for flash mobs, like before this show in London.
It touches my heart because who would have known, you know, to have people out here feeling that good, dressed up as me.
Because when the whole crowd looks like you, it's hard to tell who the real superstar is. All eyes now on Amsterdam for Pitbull's next concert stop. Well, that's Nightline. You can watch all of our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here at the same time tomorrow. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.